Alright fellas, we got a couple of compact comics and DC Finest to talk about. Let's get into it. We got 4 DC Finest. Yes, Finest Fridays will continue under the same banner for months on end, and I hope it never stops. The first of these Finest that are coming out is JLA The Return. This is a Jerry Conway, mostly written Justice League of America, and then he transfers it off to J.M. DeMatteis and Luke McDonnell on issue 256. J.M. DeMatteis actually comes on and helps co-write some of these stories. Nonetheless, this is awesome to see. Coming out on the 5th of August at $39.99 at 584 pages. This is going to collect JLA, or Justice League of America, issues 241 to 261, Infinity Inc. number 19, and annual number 3 of Justice League of America. So if you are still interested in picking up the Justice League of America sets, this is going to be full in-house. And I'm actually going to assume that we're going to get a JLI DC Finest rebrand, just because if it does stick with Justice League of America, you're only going to collect titles that have JLA, right? So JLA, JLI, JLE, JLQ, give me all of those volumes. Next up, we got DC Finest Batman Red Skies coming out on the 2nd of September at $39.99, 956 pages. This is material right before Crisis and during Crisis on Infinite Earths. So if we have year 1 and year 2 as sort of the, hey, we need a reset on Batman, these are all of the issues that came out before. Also not tonally different. This is a lot of Doug Moench and Tom Mandrake Batman in this specific volume. This is going to collect issue 6 of Secret Origins, Batman Annual number 10, Batman 386 to 400, and Detective Comics 553 to 567. Next up, we got events. We got Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1 at 560 pages, $39.99, coming out on the 21st of October. Swamp Thing number 39, Batman 389 to 391, Detective Comics 555 to 558, Justice League of America 24, Green Lantern 194, Wonder Woman 327, DC Comics Presents 78, Infinity Inc. 18 to 19, Fury of Firestorm 41, All-Star Squadron 50 to 52, and Crisis on Infinite Earths 1 through 4, along with the Losers Special number 1. If there's any indication for these, there's probably going to be 3 of these out. So imagine that tiny box set at 1,500 pages. Man, they could have made this an omnibus easily if they wanted to. DC likes doing those. Nonetheless, we do have Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Super happy that they're making it, honestly, because this is the most important, I would say one of the most important comic books ever to be done. Just surprised that it took this long to come out, along with 0 Hour being the first of the events, but who am I to complain? Last but not least is Dan Garrett Blue Beetle. Thank my lucky heavens and stars. There is going to be a volume out before this. This is Challenges the Red Knight for the Blue Beetle at 368 pages, coming out on the 12th of August. Captain Atom 83 to 86, Blue Beetle 1964 1 through 5, Blue Beetle 1965 1 through 5, and 50 to 54. I'm going to explain just for a bit why it got pushed around. Unusual Tales was renumbered. They renumbered an Unusual Tales anthology into Blue Beetle, which is why you see 50 to 54. They count those issues. It is very confusing. It's not like one of those, oh, there were 49 issues of Blue Beetle before, because there were only like 20 or so. But Dan Garrett Blue Beetle, the archaeologist, is getting a rep in for his own DC Finest. That is pretty cool. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's a big market for a lot of Dan Garrett fans out there, because of course the bigger names for Blue Beetle are none other than Ted Kord and Jaime Reyes, those two being the mainstays. Blue Beetle is an afterthought. I think Dan Garrett is an afterthought to a lot of people, but if you want to read the Charlton comic, I think this is a really cool way to experience it and to experience the anthropology and the archaeology of the 1960s. All right, some DC compact editions to talk about, some of which have already been announced, some of which haven't. Gonna put them all in here just for collection and propriety's sake. The first of which is Blood and Guts, Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang at 280 pages, coming out on the 19th of August. This is going to collect issues 1 through 12 of the 2011 run of Wonder Woman. Next up, we got Why the Last Man, Book 1 by Brian K. Vaughan, Piaguera, 248 pages at $9.99, coming out on the 21st of October. Why the Last Man, issues 1 through 10. Batman Arkham Asylum. I am actually surprised that they decided to put this out in a compact comic at 248 pages. coming out on the 2nd of September, collecting A Serious House and A Serious Earth. Next up, we got Batman, The Long Halloween, collecting the 13 issues of Long Halloween at 376 pages, coming out on the 7th of October. Last but not least, we got Harley Quinn Wild at Heart, 392 pages, coming out on the 16th of September. 0 through 13 is collected in here. Now, if you want to track any of these books, also help out support the channel, I got a website for you.
If you haven't yet, check out our website, comicreleases.com, my and Webhead's love letter to comics, a hotspot where you can finally figure out what's coming out, when, from what place. Our unique upcoming website tracker in the Collected Editions tab makes sure that you're on top of every single collected edition coming out on the market, with release date updates to the minute, from the tiniest graphic novels to the giant Generator Deluxe hardcovers as large as an absolute. Our unique spreadsheet not only gives out the most accurate information out there, but our format also filters and ensure that you can find your books as quickly as possible. The tracker also gives out links to domestic and international retailers so that you can purchase your comic books at the snap of a finger. We are also proud to host monthly solicitations as per given by the publishers that generously send us information to give to you all. From the Ultimate Universe to the creator-loved Oceans and Universes, we specialize in giving you the most readable format of solicitations without any of the annoying advertisements. If you also donate to our Patreon at just $2 a month, which is less than a coffee at Starbucks, you will receive access to a special watch list dedicated to individually tracking items that are on your wish list, past or present. Place in your tracking number and make sure that these books also not only come in safe, you can even put in special comments on these as well. On top of that, your name will also show up at the end of every single Dom of X video creates as a huge thank you. That is comicreleases.com. For more information, check this out down in the description. If you also want to contact me or Webhead, check the contact forms down in the description or email me down in the description.
That's going to be it for me. I'm really glad that DC Finest is back and it's still $39.99. Like, that's so crazy to me. So crazy to me that we're going to be getting more DC Finest. Finest Fridays will continue. If you are a longtime viewer of the channel, if you're a newcomer watching this, I do DC Finest recaps with my buddy Kurtis Finley from the Epic Marvel podcast, where we do talk about these length and full. You can hang out with me and him, chat with us, ask us some questions. We will definitely be there to help and support you through whatever it might need to be. I'm really happy for that Batman trade paperback, though. That probably might be my favorite of the set. Let me know if you're going to be collecting any of these from the Finest or Compact line from DC. That's going to be it for me, though. I'm Dom of X. You be you. Take care. Dominate the day wherever you go.